Together with Zeus Coffee and Farm Fresh team managers Kiara Cruz and CK Canapi Daniolco, our guest tonight met with the press this morning to echo strong group's plea. Let Alohi play. Please welcome in studio, Attorney Donn Rico Kapunan.
Hi, Anton.
Attorney, good evening and welcome to the Scorecard here on BNC.
My pleasure.
Attorney, it's been a busy day for you.
It is.
A lot of interesting news with regards to the opening of the PVL this weekend, in particular, the team of the Farm Fresh Foxies and, of course, Alohi Robins-Hardy. But before we get to the thick of things, I just want to establish your role with regards to SGA Strong Group Athletics.
Well, I'm the team consultant, at the same time, the legal counsel of Strong Group.
Okay.
Not very long, but on a personal capacity, I've been advising Mr. Frank Lau on his various business interests as well.
Okay. Now, with regards to the PVL, a lot of statements have been released. I actually don't know where to start with regards to this. But the latest thing is the PVL statement that was, I have to bring it out because we have to be very careful with regards to this. There is an official statement with regards to the PVL. Nakalagay po dito, on May 1, 2024, the league issued a memorandum to all member teams outlining the free agent rules and the draft guidelines. And this is the most important part. All players who wish to play in the PVL but have not played in the league since its professional status began in 2021 until the first conference of 2024 must apply and go through the draft process. So, your reaction to that first part of the PVL statement?
We're not contesting that, Anton. We know the rules from the start. But let me just let me just explain to you where we're coming from. Especially for those who weren't able to listen to what we mentioned earlier during the press conference.
Sure.
It happened after the draft. The Farm Fresh team wasn't able to draft any player from that. Now, of course, our team owner, Mr. Frank Lau, thought of ways on how to make the team more competitive, considering the absence of a star player. You know, Anton, Farm Fresh is like, what, 6-man or woman deep lineup. Only that, we're not like the other teams who are 14 woman deep in their lineup. So, we're Farm Fresh, but we don't want to be a farm team, right? So, that being said, we want to be competitive. So, Sir Frank thought about reaching out to veteran players, perhaps who are inactive or not in the current lineup of any PVL team. So that led us to reach out to Rachel Dakis and Alohi Robins-Hardy.
Yes.
So, syempre, yung situation kasi ni Alohi is different, no? She previously played for PSL, right? With Cignal.
Yes.
At the same time, she has played for the national team. She has played internationally in Spain, in Czech Republic, etc. No, in France even. So we felt that baka pwedeng may special consideration with Alohi. So nag-seek kami ng advice. No? Mr. Lau sought the advice of Mr. Ricky Palu, the PVL president, and Mr. Palu mentioned that, okay, for as long as she's able to produce a Philippine passport, then she can play. So that's what we did, right? We tried our darn best to help Alohi acquire a Philippine passport, and eventually she was issued one. Okay. So there's no question on her citizenship. Now now comes October, last month. And then suddenly we received the message, okay, despite you getting a passport for Alohi, she still can't play because of the draft rules. So we were in a quandary. Mr. Lau called me from Europe And then he asked me to confer with Mr. Palu, and which we did. On October 24, we met, me, Mr. Palu, and Kiara Cruz, the assistant team manager of Farm Fresh, and Miss CK Canapi. And we discussed this among ourselves and how we can possibly, find a remedy for Alohi to play. To which Mr. Palu, and it came from him, why don't you ask other teams if they can agree to Alohi playing for your team? So we did that. No? So after that meeting on October 24, Anton, in less than 2 days, we were able to secure 6 signatures from the team. And then, nung we were in deep talks with negotiations with 2 more teams, then suddenly, Mr. Lau received a call or the news that no, they are.
You still have to go through the
yes,
draft.
Alohi still needs to go through the draft. So, for us, parang, what is this? Bakit niyo pa kami pinayagan to go through that great lengths, securing Alohi's passport, securing the signatures of other teams, and yet, ganun din pala yung sasabihin nyo. Ano ba tayo dito? Ano bang usapan to? Diba? So, we were really dismayed. Mr. Lau was so disappointed because he felt that there was already an agreement that Alohi can play, provided we met the conditions. And it came from them. Right?
Attorney, I just have a question. You mentioned earlier that Farm Fresh did not draft any player in the first ever PVL draft.
That I was told, Anton.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you don't know why that wasn't the case?
No.
Okay.
No.
Could Alohi have joined the PVL draft at the time?
The draft I was told was in early June. Is that right? At that time, Alohi wasn't still in possession of her Philippine passport.
I see.
Yes.
So that's the reason.
Yes.
All right. So this agreement, this talk between Boss Frank Lau and PVL President Mr. Ricky Palu happened outside of the PVL draft and the PVL rules that if Alohi can secure a Philippine passport, then she would be allowed to play.
Yes, that's what we were told. That's
All
what
right.
we were told, Anton.
Okay, let's go to the second part of the statement. On June 2024, the league shared a list of veteran players potentially eligible for direct hiring, from which Alohi Robins-Hardy was notably absent. Why was that the case?
I'm not sure about that. But, kaya nga kami nagtanong, Anton. That's what led Mr. Lau to ask first if we can acquire Alohi.
Yes. So everything was happening on the outside. And in the end, what I am understanding here is the PVL stuck to their guns and said, we're going to the first rule of any player who wishes to play in the PVL will have to go through the draft.
I suppose that's what happened.
Okay. Now, there's another part here. The PVL's official guidelines take precedence over all other considerations. And then lastly, they said these regulations were presented to all teams and accepted by the same. So, was Strong Group and Farm Fresh aware of all of these guidelines?
Yes, we are aware. We're not
Okay.
contesting that. And, Anton, if I were in the place of PVL, I would also be on that side of the fence, so to speak. I would stand also with the rules. However, like I am explaining to you, Alohi was a special case.
Okay. So this is outside of the
Yes.
rules that the PVL are saying that you have to go through the draft.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
all right.
Anton, if I could add this, in law, there is the spirit of the law and there is the letter of the law. And sometimes you need to go beyond the letter of the law, right? to be able to extract its spirit, if you know what I'm saying. Kasi if you are only after the letter of the law, you will not be able to extract or to establish what is the essence of the rule itself, diba? And what is the essence of the rule? For me, it's parity.
Yes.
Diba? We all seek parity in this league. And for us, Alohi playing, no, this will elevate, perhaps, competitiveness of our team. And like I always tell to people, if there are other teams with a player who is similarly situated with Alohi, we will not also object to them, to that player playing for them.
All right. So the last statement was the one that I just shared to everybody watching right now. And it seems that yun na nga, PVL is sticking to the rule that any player who wishes to join the league will have to participate in draft. And unfortunately, the next draft is next year pa, 2025. What are the next steps now, attorney, to continue to try to let Alohi play? Because she gave up a lot. She issued a statement saying that she left her job for this.
Yes.
So what are the next steps para masubukan na palaruin itong si Alohi dito sa PVL and for Farm Fresh?
Yun ang masakit, Anton. No? Masakit na iniwan mo yung trabaho mo, iniwan mo yung pamilya mo, iniwan mo yung environment mo for you to be able to come here and play before the fans. Na sinabi nga ni Alohi, she loves playing for the Filipino fans, before the Filipino fans. Now, as to your question, what are the plans?
Yeah.
Well, it's open-ended. We feel that we need to help Alohi. No? We need to find a job for her in whatever capacity. I would hope that it's still playing. No? But as I've said, we're thinking of all options, considering all options for Alohi, because it's such a waste that she cannot play. For a talent like her, with the competitive spirit that she possesses, she can be an asset to even the national team.
Yes. Yeah, we've seen what she was able to do when she played for Cignal in the PSL before. Yeah. She was awarded best setter and, as you said, competed internationally. So, ibang klaseng player itong si Alohi, and I'm sure her presence in the PVL will elevate the excitement. And of course, the fans are also excited to see her play.
Yes, and also the game, also the league. Diba?
All right, attorney, final message to everybody watching with regards to this situation with Alohi and PVL and, of course, the Farm Fresh Foxies.
Like I said, no, when you stick to the letter of the law, you just delve into technicalities. For me, no, my appeal is for the league to consider the spirit and the true intent of letting or making a special consideration with Alohi. Rules, just like laws, it has its purpose, but it has to be dynamic and it has to be attuned with the times, with the needs of the stakeholders and the league itself, right? So that means, Anton, what I'm saying is we shouldn't be myopic in this situation. You have to, if we want the league to improve, we must think out of the box and think long term and see if this benefits the league. So that's my appeal to the league.
All right. We have Attorney Donn Kapunan here on the Scorecard, Legal Counsel of Strong Group Athletics. Thank you so much for the time and sharing your side of the story.
Yes. Thank you, Anton.
Thank you very much.
My pleasure.